Okay, everyone. I'm making this video specifically for NYCHA staff and FAIRSTEAD staff. PACT program, whatever you want to call yourself, whatever. This is Mrs. Collins. This is my channel. And I'm pretty pissed off right now. I am peeved and I am frustrated. I'm sure you are aware of that. So this is the thing for me. Why are there so many miscommunications in terms of what's happening, what's supposed to happen, and so forth and so on? Because it seems like nobody really knows what's going on. And nobody is willing to be transparent in regards to the process in terms of renovation and so forth and so on, the clarity in terms of what's happening, what's going to happen, so forth and so on. Okay. It's too much mixed messages. Too much apples and oranges in terms of communications. One person is talking apples, the other one is talking oranges, and the other one is talking pears and grapes. No one is on the same page. Why? And then you get angry and frustrated at residents like myself who has questions and demands answers. And if I cannot get answers in one form, I am going to take another avenue to get my answers. And I am going to keep taking avenues until I get my answers to my multiple questions. Now, these questions would have been answered if there wasn't these multiple Zoom meetings. Okay? Because with the Zoom meetings, prior to this conversion that you guys continuously implemented, you picked and choose whose questions you want to answer. And if someone is asking questions that you don't like, you mute them. Okay, well, you're not going to mute now. You made promises, empty promises, to multiple residents, including myself. And you said, if you sign that lease, this is what we're going to do. And that is what we're going to do. And so forth and so on. You came with your song and your dance. Your rainbows and your unicorns. And then after that lease was signed, we got a pie in the face. Or should I say, I got a pie in the face. I don't like pie in my face, particularly when it concerns where I live, because where I live is where my child lives, my son. So it's not just me that's being affected, it's him. Then it's my finances, my money. Why is it so easy for someone to go into these FAIRSTEAD account and dabble with funds, dabble with figures? That's a problem for me, because the funds that's in my account, for the most part, that's my money. That's money that I am putting into that account, opposed to my 1,005 that I just implemented in there, 1,400 I threw in there, $900 I threw into my account. And then your staff goes in and debits $150 or $137. And oh, we made a mistake and we made a mistake. Okay, don't make mistake when it comes down to my money. Money that I'm taking off of my Visa card from my bank and putting it into your account. This FAIRSTEAD NYCHA account. Don't make no mistake. That's when I'm going to come for you and address this. Okay, so you're probably thinking, Ms. Collins, we know about the $150 that was debited out of your account that you was charged as far as tenant relocation. We're going to pay that back to you in a check. We're going to give you a check for $150 so you can do whatever you want to do with it, whatever, so I can do whatever I want to do with it. Okay, let me explain something to you. Excuse me. Let me explain something to you. What's the difference between what you did and someone going into a bank and saying, give me, this is a holdup. I want $150 put into this bag. And the bank puts $150 in the bag, and the robber leaves. And then the robber comes back and says, put another $150 in this bag. They put another $150 in the bag, and the robber leaves. And the cops get a hold of the robber and says, we're going to give you $150. The bank, we're going to give you $150 so that you can, okay. You're only giving me back what you took from me. You're not giving me some type of stipend, some type of bonus. You're only giving me back what you took from me. A debit charge and a debit payment. You got a debit charge and a debit payment, so there needs to be a credit. Now, let me clarify something. It seems that people are under the impression that individuals who lives in public housing, in the projects, are a bunch of uneducated earheads. Oh, you live in the projects. You don't know nothing. You're not smart. I've worked at 4 to 5 of the most major banks in New York, in the operations area. I've worked as a reconciliation specialist at the Bank of New York. I worked as a trade processor at Chase Bank. Okay. I've worked within the derivatives department. At major financial institutions. I've always worked in back office, not front office. Not as a teller or a customer service representative. No, I've always worked in back office. Yes. I worked for the Department of Education as a procurement analyst. So I've always been doing the math. I've always had PowerPoint presentations to perform, Excel spreadsheets, analysis, so forth and so on daily. So when it comes down to my bank, my bank account, when it comes down to my finances, you don't think I'm not going to reconcile that as well? You think I'm not going to reconcile funds going in and out of my bank account, any account that I am associated with in terms of me putting funds in or taking funds out? You think I'm not going to reconcile that? Of course I am. Yes, I've worked at Citibank and I've worked at Smith Barney's. Chemical Bank, back office. 4 years. 25 years and counting. Where's my money? I overpaid the New York City Housing Authority. I've overpaid by $3,000. And I have confirmed and affirmed that by way of documentation and information. I'm tired of talking. I am annoyed and I'm weary of talking. And so that's why I am just going to make these records and I'm going to send them to you. And since you're not making yourself available in speaking with me, when I ask to speak to someone who's on senior level, when I ask to speak to someone, I go to the office and I ask to speak to this person and that person, I'm told, well, they're unavailable or they're on the field or so forth and so on. Okay, well, Here it is. If it doesn't get to your ears and your eyes, it'll get to someone higher than you. Because I will be heard. And it's ironic. And it's not as though I'm one of those residents who owed you $15,000. You got residents that live in these developments that owe you $25,000 in rent. Not $2,500. $25,000, $15,000, $12,000. And as a result of this conversion, you wiped the slate clean, allegedly wiped the slate clean. I'm going to say that. You allegedly put their account to a zero? Really? Okay. Me? You owe me. New York City Housing Authority owed me and still owes me a couple of thousands. You owed me $3,000 in total. Okay, in total when this conversion took place. You owed me $3,000. I overpaid by $3,000. Overpaid. I didn't owe you nothing. And I didn't do no peel and stick on your property and parquet floors and all this craziness. I didn't do nothing. So here it is. Nice guys finish last. The more you are compliant, the more you will get slapped in the face. But if you're a crooked, corrupt resident, you get to run in the fields with the dandelions and sleep comfortably. Is that the way it's going? Is that because that's the way it's going? That's the way I see it. The more corrupt you are, the nicer you are treated. And the more compliant you are and cooperative you are, the more you get, excuse the expression, shitted on. Now, you keep trying to pet and prim these non-desirable, disgruntled people if you want to. But I'm not having it. I'm not having it. I'm not accepting it. And I'm going to put it on blast. You are not going to soft stroke these non-desirable, these disgruntled. Hell no. No, you're not. No, you're not. No, you're not. Because if that's the case, I suggest you make it your business. Get me and my son out of this disgruntled melting pot. Because we don't belong here. I am not going to be a part of this charade, this shenanigans. No, I'm not. Oh, well, just let them do what they want. Well, just let them do what they want. No, you let them do what they want in your backyard, underneath your window, in front of your door. You do that, okay? And if you're going to approve of this negative behavior from these people, then be prepared to hear from me. By any means necessary, by any avenue, you're going to hear from me. Because my quality of life, my livelihood, my safety means a hell of a lot more to me than your damn paycheck. I don't care about your paycheck, and I don't care about your position. I don't care about your title either. I could care less. Because outside of this, you're just another face in the crowd. You better smooth out these rough edges. Let me tell you something. If I have to be like these individuals, I will be. I won't give you one dime. I will withhold my rent. I will withhold every single, to the penny, I will. And I have justification and reason to show cause why I can and why I will. What has been done to me and my son is unspeakable. Don't think for 1 minute I haven't been keeping a record of everything that's been happening prior to this conversion, during this conversion, and after. You think I haven't been? You must be crazy. I have, trust me when I tell you, it may not be posted on this platform, but it doesn't mean that I didn't make recordings. Excuse me? You're deceivers. And you're liars. You're not true to your word. And if you are true to your word, prove it, because you haven't. You have subjected both me and my son to situations that are absolutely unacceptable. Absolutely unacceptable. You told me prior to my items going into that storage unit, and my son was a witness because you said it more than once to us. And I'm not going to give you names as to who said it. I'm not going to give you names. Your staff told me, Ms. Collins, we're concerned that, you may think that we're holding your items captive. I said, you are. I said, you are taking my possessions, my property, putting it inside of a storage, and you're holding on to the key to that storage? Well, Ms. Collins, we can give you the key. I was like, no, you're not going to give me any key, because I didn't ask you to put my stuff in storage. That's your process. I didn't ask you to put any of my items in your storage. I didn't ask for any of this. I didn't ask for any of this. So you're going to hold on to the key, because if anything is missing out of that storage unit, either one of them, I'm coming to you. I'm going to address you. You're going to be held accountable. So no, I'm not holding on to any keys. Now, if I voluntarily, decided I want to put certain things in storage and I'm paying for that storage or whatever the case may be, then yes, relinquish the key to me. Other than that, why would I want to hold a key to a storage unit that has my items in it, my property that you're paying for and that you're doing? This is your doing. FAIRSTEAD, NYCHA, whoever you are. Well, we're not NYCHA anymore, we're FAIRSTEAD. You're NYCHA. And the reason why I keep saying that you are NYCHA is because NYCHA owns the property. You may own the buildings, but you still have to report to NYCHA. NYCHA owns the ground. That land out there belongs to NYCHA. So they're still in the equation, whether you want them to be or not. And another thing I don't understand, if I'm speaking to NYCHA's director, NYCHA's lease housing director, and they say to me, Ms. Collins, you can transfer over to this apartment over there, or you can transfer to that apartment over there, or you can transfer down to the Sterling Place location over there. If they're saying to me, yes, you can do that, who are you, PACT program, FAIRSTEAD, whatever, to tell these senior level directors that I can't? You don't have the right to do that. You have no right, because they're not housing assistants. They are directors. They are the big boss. They're the big ones, the big wigs. They are the ones in charge. So you think that you can overstep them? You can't overstep these individuals. You can't make the decision is not in your court at that point. When these individuals steps into the equation, that's not how I see it. I'm gonna need to understand who holds the key? Who is the big boss, the one who has the last say? I would think that it would be lease housing directors. NYCHA lease housing directors. You got the housing assistants, you got the managers, and then you have the directors. And if I stand to be corrected in terms of level, in terms of protocol, I would say that the directors are the ones who have the last say, the final say. Okay? So for you, FAIRSTEAD, or whoever else you are, management, so forth and so on, you have to go through them. You have to go through lease housing to get the approval for certain things. So if you have to go to lease housing to get approval, if lease housing is telling you, move that resident over there or transfer her over there, why are you being non-compliant? Why are you telling them no? That can't happen. I'm confused. Okay? If I need someone to clarify and, help me to understand, because I'm confused. And it would have been a heck of a lot cheaper too. It would have been a heck of a lot cheaper to just transition. Why are my things in the storage? When you promised that you was going to transfer me to another unit like you did others, whose transfer wasn't even on. My transfer was on the table since 2010. My reasonable accommodation grievance hearing at 250 Broadway, it was in 2017. So my transfer had been on the table for that long. It's been on the table for that long. And in addition to that, there was a domestic violence voucher that was never even used. I shouldn't even be in this development. No, I should have been transitioned out of this development. I have a domestic violence voucher. I have a letter from an advocate from Safe Horizon trying to push. She sent a detailed letter asking for the New York City Housing Authority to assist me in transition. The New York City Housing Authority refused to assist me in transitioning from an unsafe environment to a safe environment. And there is a domestic violence voucher on the table. Okay, so Ms. Collins, we gave you another voucher. So why don't you just take that voucher and you find me a place. You find me someplace with it. Because that's another stress ball. Trying to find an apartment with that voucher. So Ms. Collins, we're going to give you this voucher so that you can look for another apartment in a private development, whatever the case may be. No, that voucher doesn't say anything about a private development. You need to read. That voucher says, this is a voucher that we're giving you so that you can leave from one Section 8 development to another Section 8 development within the 5 boroughs. That's what it says. It doesn't say anything about private. So I'm not going to call you what I want to call you. Okay? But if you think you're going to use this voucher as your source of quieting Ms. Collins, or, when she moves out of this development, we can push everything that we've done to her under the rug. No, you're not. Because if I was to leave out of this development, I would have more leverage to come at you. I can freely expose you. When all I ask of you is a simple transfer to a unit that is modified for someone with a disability on the second floor, that's it. That's all you want, Ms. Collins? That's all I wanted. No mold, no mildew. That's all you wanted? That's all I wanted. On the second floor? On the second floor. Modified for someone with a disability. Yeah. And then that would be it. That would be it. That would be it. I don't want to live around crazy people. Would you? Would you want to live around crazy people? I don't want to live around crazy people. I don't want to live around non-desirable headaches. I don't want to live around people who got individuals living in their apartment incognito, being disrespectful to me. Your name is not even on the lease, and I'm the head of household. My name is on the lease, and I'm paying over $1,000 in rent, and you think that you're going to have someone in your household whose name is not on the lease, living incognito, and they're going to disrespect me, and I'm not going to put them on blast? Yes, I will. I refuse to deal with somebody whose name is not on that lease, while my name is on the lease, and I'm the head of household, and I'm paying all this rent. I'm not going to deal with your ratchet house member. No, I'm not. I refuse to. That's not going to happen. So I suggest you, FAIRSTEAD, sift the wheat and dry the well. Where's my money? Where's my money? Where's that $137? What's with all of these empty promises? What's with all these mixed communications, apples and oranges and so forth and so on? You told the contractors one thing, but they end up coming and see something else. And the carpenters said one thing, told us one thing, and you end up telling us something else. Where is that list of things that the resident can keep in their apartment and have to be removed? There's a list that the residents should have received that tells them this can stay in your apartment and that has to go into storage. Where is that? I'm not affecting your quality of life. I'm not affecting how you live. You're affecting me. And I come from a household of homeowners. My family is homeowners. Okay, so I don't understand this type of what's going on here with these public housing stuff, whatever. I don't understand it. I never will. And I never will be comfortable with it. So you give me this voucher, you find the house, you do the footwork with it for me. I'm not doing that. You're going to do the footwork. And I'm going to keep poking until you do. You're going to do the footwork. I don't care who you want to send to me. Ms. Collins, I'll help you with locating an apartment with your voucher. Do that. Do that. Because as far as I'm concerned, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. And I'm making it known. I'm making it known. Where's my money? Where's my funds? Drag your non-desirables through the mud. Not me. Not me. Not me and my child. Not at all. My oldest son is fighting for this country. Okay? And what? You already know me. Don't come for me.